11:47 a.m.
Hi, baby. Baby, you have to listen to me carefully. I'm on a plane that's been hijacked. I'm on the plane. I'm calling from the plane. I want to tell you I love you. Please tell my children that I love them very much. And I'm so sorry, babe. I hope to be able to see your face again, baby. I love you. Bye.
Jules, this is Ryan. Listen, on an airplane that's been hijacked. If things don't go well and it's not looking good, I just want you to know I absolutely love you. I want you to do good. So happy this time. Same to my parents and everybody. And I just totally love you. And I'll see you later. Bye, babe.
What are those people going to do? All the elevators are blocked out.
In a country that most people would struggle to find on a map, in a compound that took the fight to our enemy. In these, they don't care about your political opinions. They don't care if you sit on the left or the right, liberal or conservative, pacifist or warrior. Instead of running from it. I'm sorry you've never heard someone cry out for help or cried out for help yourself, relying on the courage of others to bring you home. I'm sorry you've never tasted the salt from your own tears as you stand at flag-draped coffins burying men you were humbled to call your friends. I don't wish those experiences on you, but I do wish you had them. Most will never understand the sacrifice required to keep evil men like those from that distant compound away from our doorstep. But it would not hurt you to try and understand. It would not hurt you to take a moment to respect the sacrifices that others make on your behalf, whether they share your opinions or not. It would not hurt you to take a moment to think of the relentless drain on family, friends, and loved ones that are left behind, sometimes for weeks, sometimes for months, sometimes for years, sometimes forever. Ideas are not protected by words. Paper and ink may outline the foundation and principles of this nation, but it is blood, only blood, that protects it. In that dusty compound, a man you have never met gave everything he had so that you have the freedom to think, speak, and act however you choose. He went there for all of us, whether you loved or hated what he stood for. He went there to preserve the opportunity and privilege to believe, to be, and to become what we want. You have the choice every day as to which category you want to be in which direction you want to move. You have that choice because the best among us, the best we ever had to offer, fought and bled and died for it. Don't ever forget that.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SITREP. Sorry, we had a little technical difficulty getting the show rolling there, but we're here. Alpha, how you doing, brother?
We are definitely here. Make sure I get my volume up where it needs to be right
I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
there. It's been forever.
12 hours, something like that. Not even.
Not even 12 hours. Yeah, I was to say.
10 hours. Yeah. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a special guest joining us this evening, but we are going to take care of some business before we get into that aspect of the show. And
just real quick, are you showing live on Rumble? Because I'm not.
You know, this is what happens when I don't do the StreamYard, the studio. I did not set it up. It was set up for me, and it's not working.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't tripping.
Let me send out a mayday.
Meanwhile, for those of you that are watching us on YouTube and X, welcome. It's February 26, 2026. It's going to be a good conversation today. I'm going to filibuster while my partner sends out the mayday. But we're Marines, so we adapt and overcome, right?
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to tell the audience, do us a solid, smash that thumb, hit the heart, and share this out on your different social media platforms. Let's get a good audience in here tonight. We have a conversation we think you're going to enjoy.
I might have to switch over and just go regular Rumble.
Yeah, we can rock it that way too.
It says we're live.
It's not showing on mine.
I know it's not showing in the actual Rumble video, but got the audio going on X May 60. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. All right, you know what? Time out. I'm not letting anybody set this up for me anymore. I'm doing it on my own. We're going old school.
There's a good example for we're doing it live.
Yeah,
we're doing it.
Fuck it, we'll do it live. Fuck it.
This is a great one for one of those. Who was that? Was Bill O'Reilly, right?
Bill O'Reilly. It was Bill O'Reilly. Hold on.
We're doing it live. We're doing it live. That's a great right there.
I have that one on the soundboard somewhere. I mean, it's killing it if I have to spend this much time looking for it, but yeah. All right, are we live now? I think we should be live now.
Yeah, let me see. There's a delay, so I'll check it. I'm reloading right now. Yes, we are live now.
All right, we got it now.
Hold on. Our feed is not going into Rumble. It's the studio one. Looks like it's live. I'm reloading. Yeah, it's the studio one that has the background from the studio as well.
So frustrating, dude. Like I never have these kinds of issues. And I know it's not their fault. It's just it's something weird when they set it up. All right, try now.
I'm communicating with the Rumble chat. Let them know that there's tech issues.
This is ridiculous.
Nope, no feed coming in. The studio's live, but there's no feed coming in. I don't know if you still have the ability to grab the keys off the studio.
Yeah, I got the keys are all in.
Or if you want to do it the old school way.
I tried that. It didn't work.
So, someone in the chat over there on Rumble said that they've seen it happening a lot today. So it might
No, it's
yeah, there's nothing coming into the studio. I'll grab the YouTube link and drop it for the Rumble peeps. They wanna see what's going on right now, so they're not bored.
Making us look bad in front of our guest.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Amateur hour. We've only done this for 3 years. Never have these kinds of issues, but here we go. Unless it's Rumble's end. Rumble does from time to time have issues. But I don't know what's going on. Might have to go straight to YouTube only.
So I sent it to I put the YouTube link in the Rumble chat. Because there's nothing in Rumble.
It's so frustrating.
So
this is so frustrating.
I'll tell everybody. YouTube is live.
All right. You know what? Screw Rumble. Sorry, guys.
All right, let's roll.
All right. There we go. So closing that out and shutting that down. Let's go ahead and jump into our sponsors and finally get this shit show rolling here. Badlanders, you are all familiar with Loaded Gun Coffee. They've been longtime supporters here at Badlands, and you may have met them in person at our Guard events. But did you know they are a veteran-ran, family-owned shop in Lake Havasu, Arizona? Every bag of their whole bean coffee delivers high-octane, patriotic punch of flavor. With a long family history of commitment to freedom, every bag is a testament of pride and honor. From the skilled farmers who cultivate each blend to their roasters that handpick the finest coffee beans from around the world, Loaded Gun Coffee has mastered their unique brewing methods, resulting in the best tasting coffee around. This coffee is smooth and delicious, the perfect way to start your mornings. Get on over to badlandsmedia.tv/loaded and use promo code BADLANDS to get 10% off your order. And if you're in the Lake Havasu area, stop in the newly renovated store and say hello. Again, that's badlandsmedia.tv/loaded. Promo code BADLANDS. Stay loaded, Badlanders, with Loaded Gun Coffee. All right. Are you drinking coffee right now? That better be water.
It's water.
Okay. All right. And then let's jump over to Mushroom Vibe.
Hey there, Earthlings. I'm here on the streets of New York to tell you about something that's literally out of this world. You know, traveling between dimensions really takes it out of you. But I've found the perfect solution. My Shroom Vibe can now be your Shroom Vibe. Elevate your frequency. Get microdose capsules, gummies, and chocolate bars at myshroomvibe.com. Use code BADLANDS for 10% off your order. Trust me, galaxy hopping demands balance, and ours comes from Mother Nature. Organic, not synthetic. It's the real deal. Cy Lee, if you know what I mean. Check it out. Your frequency will thank you. Visit myshroomvibe.com. Organic goodness, not synthetic. Use code BADLANDS.
I should probably pin the YouTube link. I'm gonna.
I dropped it in Rumble already. And actually, quite a few people did.
Yeah, but people are still pouring in though. So.
I get what you're saying. Pin it. Yeah, that's smart.
So I pin it there. All right, guys. Again, apologize. I don't know what the hell's going on with Rumble. I don't think it's on Rumble. I think there's some lines got crossed somewhere in the in the setup of the stream. So it is what it is. We'll go YouTube only tonight. YouTube exclusive, as we got monetized on YouTube finally.
There you go.
Finally. So there we go. This is actually a plan to make more money off of YouTube. You'll make like $3. So
there you go.
Don't go crazy. But anyways, all right, guys. We are going to get into the show. We've got a special guest joining us tonight. We have Trump's State of the Union address last Tuesday night. And we're going to bring on our guest to talk about that and a lot more. And welcome to the show, no such thing as former. Get out of here with that shit. Marine Sergeant Matt, how you doing, brother?
Great. How are you? How y'all doing?
I am so sorry for that shit show you guys had to walk through.
It's all right. I was going to ask you guys for some advice on how to get started, but I don't know if you're the best.
We could tell you how to jerry rig some stuff.
Yeah, that's my specialty.
We were talking beforehand, and Matt was saying that he watched some of my shows back in the day, so he knows that we know how to do our thing. He just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, Matt, welcome to the show. You tell us a little bit about yourself. I brought you on tonight. I thought it'd be perfect to talk about, the Medal of Honor that was given out on Tuesday night. But tell us about yourself, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm nowhere near as heroic as that guy right there. I'll tell you that. But man, that was amazing. I was in the Marine Corps for about 10 years, and then I was medically retired after that. But I had 5 different MOSs. My main job was crew chief, a MV-22 crew chief. And with that job, you would just, man the guns for the tail, or just work with the pilots in the cockpit to kind of coordinate everything on the aircraft. But also I was a aircraft mechanic. I was a maintenance controller. So I worked in the whole maintenance area of the squadron. I would coordinate all the maintenance between the shops and get the planes ready. I would safe the aircraft for flight. I was a weapons and tactics instructor, and I was a quality assurance rep. Those were the 5 different ones. I don't remember the numbers for all those, but I collected MOSs like Pokemon when I was in the Marine Corps because just the go getter, you know what I mean? But
Catch them all.
yeah, that's right. But anyways, but my my main thing was working. I worked on the V-22, the MV-22, and that's an aircraft platform that a lot of people have some opinions about. But
Me.
yeah, but I'm here to alleviate any worries or debunk any myths that are out there. But because there are a lot of them, and I like doing that. That's kind of my thing. But anyway, I mean that's really all about me. I just what got me interested in the whole online things, like you said, I watched you a little bit back in 2021, and this was around the time I just retired, and I was kind of having some free time, and I would watch the impeachments, is what it was, the first impeachment, and I would watch the impeachment during the day, and then I would watch the news afterwards, and I knew that the news would spin things, but I was seeing lies, just straight up lies about what was happening, and so it really bothered me, and then COVID happened and all that, and so I just wanted a way to kind of get the truth out there and kind of cut through the propaganda, because I saw propaganda everywhere. All the media is all captured, and it's a lot of that mockingbird media type stuff. But I just wanted to find an outlet for me to get my opinions out there, and to get the facts out there, because I'm pretty good at researching things. I don't just believe what people tell me right off, the cuff. So I usually will go all the way to the source and try to find out what the real truth is before I talk about something normally.
Hell yeah, that's the way to do it. So, whoa, what was that? Was that me?
That's you. It's falling apart, folks. It's falling apart. Oh, here you said you do like to debunk stuff. So here's my first question regarding. You can bring the picture up, Ken, because it's absolutely do with this. Is this bird as dangerous as a lot of us Marines have kind of psyoped ourselves into believing? Because I know a lot of buddies are like, "Hey, look, man, can I just hump? Like, can you just give me my rucksack and let me hump?"
Well, so the worst thing you got to worry about is throwing up. That's the only issue I ever had with taking pack groundside Marines is, but that's not a big deal. The V-22, there was I'm pretty sure the photos are still classified, but there was an Air Force special ops insertion probably 10 years ago now, down in Africa. They were going to get everybody out of an embassy, and it was an African country. I'm not gonna say which one, but they it was 2 V-22s, and so they come in to land, and then all of a sudden fire just lights up, and just kind of like what they were describing for the guy who got the Medal of Honor, but they just start getting lit up. So they're like, "Oh, we got to wave off." Or I'm sorry, I told that totally wrong. I'm totally wrong. They come in and they messed up the landing or something. They had to wave off the first landing. So what happened is they went around the same pattern again, and then when they came back to land, that's when everything blew up, because everybody saw the planes come in. They were able to get everything ready, and the plane just came through the same pattern. There's a photograph of that aircraft hooked up to a tanker, or a C-130 that's refueling it, and there's fuel just pissing out the back of the aircraft. Those aircraft and the Chinook that they flew can take a beating. They don't. I mean, the bullets will rip right through them, but there's so many systems, backup systems on the aircraft and things like that, and even the fuel cells are, theoretically self-sealing if they get hit with up to a 7.
I didn't know that.
But yeah, so I've had a buddy. I wasn't in any firefights myself, but my buddy, we used to call him Machine Gun Moreland. He's the only V-22 Marine crew chief that I know's got a confirmed kill. from the tail gun. But
Wait. The only one that has a confirmed kill from the tail gun?
I'm sure there's more. It's the only one I know of.
Oh, okay. But I mean, I don't personally know one either, but I just find that hard to like. That's crazy.
Well, yeah, and you got to realize too that a lot of what the V22s do right now is like special operations type deals. So you're not really hearing about a lot of what's going on with them. But it was amazing just the beating that aircraft took. They they took rounds through. They lost, I think, 2 hydraulic systems. There's 3 hydraulic systems, backup systems on the aircraft, and that's what controls your flight controls. And so they had ripped through the wings, and there's tiny little hydraulic lines in there. They ripped through 2 hydraulic systems, so they limped back on one. They had a chunk missing out of it's a ball screw is what it is that makes the the cell go up and down. And the ball screw is probably about this big around, and there was a chunk, like a half moon missing out of it, but it was still able to raise and lower the nacelle. I mean, it's amazing. You wouldn't believe what kind of beating those aircraft can take, but they really can. And in the windscreens, and I was talking about with the pilot here, the windscreens are virtually bulletproof. We would try to get the old ones, like when they were getting retired off the aircraft. We would do everything we could to try to break them. You hit them with hammers and hit them with anything. You can't break those windows.
And
that's why you got to hit the legs. But that's what I was kind of saying is, we need some leg protection, but we can get into that later on.
So just real quick for people that I mean, I had the pictures pulled up there, but for people that may not know this, the V22s, the MV22s, the Ospreys, they're, they have those let me pull the picture up so you guys can see, but they have those 2 big ass rotors, and they actually tilt, so it can take off vertically like a helicopter would, and then once it's up in the air, they can basically tilt them forward, and it becomes a plane. And I think, what's the top speed on them, like 350 miles an hour?
No, they can go up to 280 knots.
280.
Okay, I don't know what that is miles an hour. Yeah,
it's like 1.15, so it's probably close to 300 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got to fly on them a few times, once in training and a few times in Afghanistan, and it is a hell of an experience when you take off and you're sitting in there, you're facing sideways inboard, and you feel when they rotate, when the rotors rotate down, you feel that thing accelerate and just rip you to the side a little bit, and it's quite an experience, man. And those things can freaking bank, dude. They'll be tilting and woo.
Oh yeah,
not a fun ride, especially. So you, Matt, you were saying that you got out in 2021. You were in 10 years, so you got out. You got in 2011.
Actually, I got out in 2018.
Oh, okay.
I went in 2009, and I got out at the beginning of 2018.
Oh, okay. Did you go to Parris Island?
Yep.
When were you there? Because we were the same time.
Ooh, really? I think I went. It was May of 2009.
I was April. So are you sure, like the very end?
Yeah,
of April?
first battalion.
Oh, I was second bat. I was second battalion.
I was first battalion.
So you had to watch me at the very end. You had to watch us graduate.
Probably. Yeah. And that's the worst part about being in boot camp, is watching the other classes go on the parade deck and graduate.
That's pretty crazy. So so you also did like tactical instruction and stuff on those. Walk us through like what you did for that.
So a weapons and tactics instructor is basically, so you have levels when it comes to air crew, and the pilots and crew chiefs, the highest level you can get is weapons and tactics instructor. And and you can see this patch right here on my helmet. It's like a little eagle. It's like the WTI. That's MOTS 1 out in Yuma, Arizona. That's the school for weapons and tactics instruction. But it's a pretty tough course. But basically, what a WTI will do is help in mission planning. So you're working. The pilots will task you with figuring out, hey, we need to go here, here, and here. How much fuel is that going to take? What do we need to add to the aircraft, or what do we need to take away? So, you're helping with the mission planning, and you're supposed to be a subject matter expert on really the whole V-22 and the weapon systems. So so you're also teaching Marines how the weapons work, how the guns work. We used the 50 cal, the Gal 19, and then we used a 240. It was
You guys had the modified 240. You guys had the 240 with the butterflies instead of the trigger. Right. Lucky sons of bitches.
Yeah, I loved it. Man, I had and it sucks because a lot of the video I don't have anymore, but I had a pretty cool night video of me shooting a 240 because the thing just has such a fast rate, and you see the tracers go out, and I don't know, it's cool, man. I liked shooting the 240.
There it is, there.
There you go.
There it is. The 240. Look at that. Look at you guys. You got a nice little vacuum tube to dump all your brass out the side, so you're not doing cleanup and police calling the or the cargo area. Look at you guys. Air Wing, you guys are spoiled, man.
Yeah. I know, man.
Spoiled.
That's dope, man. That is so freaking. That's so badass right there, man.
Isn't it? Now, what's really cool is like, so when we were flying out, it was probably like a 45-minute trip to get to our AO, and the guy that's the I guess, what do you call that? Like it's not a door gunner because it's like
just a crew chief. The crew chiefs will just trade spots. One will be on the tail, one will be in the cockpit.
Okay, so you call him a tail gunner, the guy that's looking out that back bay?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this motherfucker's like hooked up to like, this lanyard system that basically keeps him in place so he doesn't fall out the back of the aircraft. And he's just standing up, walking around, like we're flying, we're holding on for dear life. And he's just chilling, like walking around, like on the edge, like he knows he's not going to fall out. And, just a cocky son of a bitch. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of like, please slip, please slip, please slip.
Dude, one of the worst days of me flying was we were doing para ops, and they were doing the static line. So whenever everybody went out the back, I would help the jump master pull the D-bags in. And so, I was right on the edge of the ramp, leaning out over the ramp, pulling these things in. Well, one time I looked down and I wasn't hooked up to my belt after I just got done doing that. I had to sit down for a minute. I was about passed out after that.
Damn, bro.
Oh man, that was dumb. But yeah, that was scary right there.
That would have been a safety stand down like no other.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit. I can't imagine that. Wow.
I would have been changing BDUs.
Oh yeah. I never did that again. Every time I made sure, double check.
So what kind of guns you said they had on there? You had mod deuces, you had the 240s, and what was the other one? A 19.
Yeah, 19, and we had the Gal 16, which is that it's a minigun in the belly. It's remote controlled. It's kind of I don't want to call it a piece of crap, but it kind of is. It has a lot of issues with feeding, and it jams all the time. And even deploying it, because you have to pull it up into the aircraft while you're on the ground, and then when you're ready to use it, you have to deploy it down through one of the hell holes, and then you have like a controller, and so you can control it. And it's really cool, like in theory, because it automatically adjusts for windage, speed, and all that. So I could be pointing the gun over here, or I could, with the controller, I could be pointing over here, but the gun's really like pointing back here. It's because it's figuring out itself what it needs to do to get
that is
around.
Pretty badass.
I want them. But it's cool in theory, but it's a pain in the ass more than anything.
Dude, that's pretty sick.
I brought up if you want to bring up this
there we go. You're giving him PTSD, man.
I could tell you every little tiny thing on that right now.
That's wild, man. That is wild. So I never got to fly in one of these bad boys. I don't know if I missed out or if I'm lucky.
It could have gone either way.
But is it multiple levels? Is that what I'm seeing here?
No, it's that's just the airframe. You got that's the fuel tank area right there, which you're pointing to, and those sponsons on the side, that's where the fuel tanks go. And then everybody just goes inside. There's a you know, I don't know if you've seen those little buggies that they're driving around now. I can't remember what they're called, but they were
Like the side
designed.
by sides.
Yeah. The infantry's using the Marstock is using them a lot, but
Yeah.
they were designed specifically to fit in the back of a V-22, so it's sized perfectly. So they just roll out in that their little, buggy, and then do their thing. So
What's their cruising altitude usually?
well, if you got packs or passengers, you got to stay under 10,000 feet because of oxygen and hypoxia. We've gone over. We've cruised probably around 11 or 12,000 feet with packs, and just they're all right. They're not flying the plane, so, and we have oxygen, so we're fine as long as we live. We're good.
Okay, so you guys do like insertions, like helo parachute insertions and stuff. Okay.
Yep.
I didn't know that. I never got to jump. That's one of my biggest regrets, is I never got to do any jumps. So
I'm glad.
Kind of sucks. I in hindsight, I probably am, especially because the way they do it is so retarded that it's like, unless you're special forces or something, you're doing static line jumps. And
Oh man, that's another funny story. That we did a Marsoc jump one night, and they free jump. They don't do the static line.
Right.
But their jump master timed it wrong, and so they all got stuck in trees. And we had to like go from para ops to search and rescue because we had to go find all these guys that were stuck in these trees now because they were jumping at night. You know what I mean?
Was that training or a mission?
Yeah, it was training. It was training.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that would have been real bad if it was a mission. But
oh man. Oh, people don't understand like how bad your life is after something like that. A mistake like that, like the next like month of your life is miserable.
Oh yeah,
miserable. Like perfection.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of training. We're gonna have to do some training.
Oh, man. So let's go ahead and play. I haven't talked about this on Daily or any of the other shows because I was kind of saving this for this episode here. But President Trump, as we all know, gave the Medal of Honor to a Chief Warrant Officer 5, Slover, I think is his last name. Mm-hmm. And he was one of the pilots flying a Chinook. It's not exactly the same as an MV-22, but it's actually got two rotors, just like an MV-22. And I believe up until the MV-22, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but up until the 22, it was the fastest rotor aircraft that we had.
Yeah, we had the 46. We used the CH-46, and I don't know if that was faster or not. Probably not. Yeah, I think you're right. As far as I think you're right.
Because I remember when Extortion 17 went down, people were like, why are they flying Chinooks? They're slow and clumsy. I'm like, no, they're actually the fastest helicopter that we have.
There you are, the workhorses of the Army, for sure.
Yeah. All right. So, Alpha, did you want to pull that up first real quick?
Yeah. Just so everybody knows what we're talking about here.
Yeah. So people know that's a Chinook right there, CH-47, an absolute piece of junk in my opinion. And the only reason I say this is because when we flew back from Afghanistan from our AO on my second deployment, this is the level of retardation we go through in the Marine Corps. We had to keep a set of camis for 7 months. We had to keep a set of camis unused. Like we couldn't wear them while we were, forward operating. And the reason for that is because when you go back to the rear and you're at Camp Leatherneck and you're hanging out with all the other, pogues, you got to have camis that look good. And so we had to have a clean set of camis that we kept. Well, I put my clean set of camis on as we're getting on the bird, like we all did. And of course, I sit down and I sit in the one fucking spot where there's just hydraulic fluid just dripping on me the whole ride back. And so I get back and my whole right side of my body is covered in hydraulic fluid. And I got my ass chewed out. And I'm like, why am I getting chewed out for this? It ain't my fault.
I think it was our Marine Corps age that set those rules for you guys. Because
way to go.
I did Iraq in 2003, just so you know. And when the rear was kind of like wherever they established it at, so we'd always go to Army bases to resupply and get hot chow. And we stopped to have breakfast one time, to get warm breakfast. And the Army officers, well, one, they were pissed because we weren't saluting, because you guys know the way we do. We don't salute in theater. So they were pissed about that. And then they were calling us out. They're like, you guys haven't shaved. You're dirty. You smell like shit. Like, calling us out. Now our brass stepped in and did what Marine Corps brass does. But it was one of those things like, hey, we got to clean up a little bit before we go there. So it looks like that trickled down into some policy for poor Brian.
Way to go, asshole. It's all your fault.
Dude, we fought the first like 3-4 months of the war with 3 sets of camis, and they were all green in the desert. Like the Marine Corps, man. Like, we're poor as shit, man.
All right, so this is President Trump's kind of, we'll call it a warrant. It's kind of like the same thing as a warrant, but check this out.
Flowing back down the aisle, helicopter lands at a steep angle.
Went too far. Hold on.
But to numerous pieces, military had blessed with holy.
I went too far, guys. I apologize.
Okay, have a good time. Nice to have you back, Enrique.
That was an awesome State of the Union, wasn't it?
It was so great. So great. By the way, at any time, if you guys want me to pause it, just holler and I'll hit pause.
All right.
There were many heroes on that January raid to capture Maduro. Really great heroes. It was very dangerous. They knew we were coming. They were all set. But the deeds of one warrior that night will live forever in the eternal chronicles of military valor. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Eric Slover, planned the mission and was the flight lead in the cockpit of the first helicopter. A big, beautiful, powerful helicopter. It was a massive Chinook carrying, as you can imagine, many, many American warfighters. Wearing the dog tags, his wife Amy had blessed with holy water before he left. She knew it was going to be a rough one. Eric steered the Chinook under the cover of night and descended swiftly upon Maduro's heavily protected military fortress. This was a major military installation, protected by thousands of soldiers and guarded by Russian and Chinese military technology. How did that work out? Not too good.
Yeah, can you pause that real quick?
Well prepared.
Sure.
I just want to say, notice when they go in, they only talk about gunfire that comes because they're, that place was definitely guarded by rockets and missiles and radar, but all that shit was shut down. So the only thing that they had left with them was the machine guns. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, I thought that when I was listening to it, President Trump says there they knew we were coming, but that was one of the things that I remember when he was talking about it earlier on, is that he was saying that OPSEC on this was perfect. Like, nobody leaked it. They had no idea we were coming. And now it's kind of changed to they knew we were coming. Now, obviously this discombobulator weapon that they used.
I think he means at that moment they knew something was up because all their systems went down, their power grid went out. I think that's what he was referring to. Is they knew that something was going down and about to happen.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Preparing to land, enemy machine guns fired from every angle, and Eric was hit very badly in the leg and hip, one bullet after another. He absorbed 4 agonizing shots, shredding his leg into numerous pieces. And yet, despite the fact that the use of his legs was vital to successful helicopter flight, legs are the most important part of flying a helicopter.
Do you know
to deliver the many
why the legs are so important?
So I don't know on the MV-22, but I know on a regular, helicopter, the legs is the tilt of the
legs, right?
The yaw. Okay.
Yeah, your feet pedals. The feet pedals are what cause the helicopter to turn like that. It's the yaw.
Okay.
So that's very important, actually, because he's sitting in the right seat of the helicopter. He was the flight lead, and he's got 4 bullets in his right leg, presumably. And he has to push on those pedals in order to do what he's about to do coming up here. So It's important. That's an important little factor.
Now he can, and I know President Trump says this eventually, but he can pass that off to his co-pilot, right?
Yeah, but if he's in the middle of the landing and I'm sure he had tunnel vision and was just
Right.
focused. You know what I mean? He probably didn't even know he got hit.
Right.
In that second moment, but yeah, he could have. But he didn't.
Well, I would also imagine, and I don't know how much knowledge you have on the flying, but I would imagine that the amount of pressure he has on the pedals, one way or the other at a particular moment, if you were to just hand that off, the other guy doesn't have the finesse. He doesn't know exactly the amount of pressure you're putting, and so it could cause like a really sudden movement. And that's one thing helicopters don't particularly like, is sudden movements like that.
Yeah, the controls are mirrored, so the control, whatever the guy's doing on the right hand side, it's the controls on the left hand side do that. So whenever they pass it off, he's going to be in the same position. But you're right, you're taking fire, you're in the middle of a landing, and that is not a good time to. I mean, if he probably had the best situational awareness of what was going on, and as the lead, he did exactly what he needed to do and knew he needed to do. So, I mean, he didn't need to pass it off, and good on him.
All right, here we go. Go ahead, Alpha.
No, I'm just thinking about, like, this is what you get. That's what you get paid the big bucks for.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, here we go.
Brass.
Commandos who would capture and detain Maduro was the only thing Eric was thinking about. Then, even as he was gushing blood, which was flowing back down the aisle, helicopter lands at a steep angle. The machine gun stood right in front of him. They were right in front of him, two machine gunners who escaped the wrath of the previous planes. Eric maneuvered his helicopter with all of those lives and souls to face the enemy and let his gunners eliminate the threat. Turned the helicopter around so the gunners could take care of business, saving the lives of his fellow warriors from what could have been a catastrophic crash deep in enemy territory. Only after safely landing the helicopter with all the warriors aboard in the exact right spot, which was vital to the mission, probably would have had to maybe cancel the mission if that didn't happen. Eric told his co-pilot, also wounded, but not as gravely, to take over. I'm about ready to pass out. The success of the entire mission and the lives of his fellow warriors hinge on Eric's ability to take searing pain. It was unbelievable what's happened to his legs of the bullets, and keep on flying and landing, and people knew what was happening. Everybody in the back of the helicopter knew because they saw the blood pouring down the aisle. Chief Warrant Officer Slover is still recovering from his serious wounds, but I'm thrilled to say that he is here tonight with his wife, Amy. Eric and Amy, come on in.
I can't believe he's standing.
Dude's a beast, man.
I know. He's a big dude. He is a big dude. For sure.
So we have a surprise for Eric and Amy. In recognition of Eric's actions above and beyond the call of duty, I would now like to ask General Jonathan Braga to present Chief Warrant Officer Slover with our nation's highest military award, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
You don't know who the general is? Is he the general that's over the special operations?
He's got a 1/60th tab on his right chest, so pin. So I'm assuming that he's also sore.
Okay.
Or at least he was previously. I'm not sure.
Definitely not a DEI hire.
What's that?
Yeah.
Definitely not a DEI hire.
No. So for those that don't know, 1/60th SOAR is Special Operations Aviation Regiment, and it's like the cream of the crop pilots. You know, the guys that fly. You know, a lot of our JSOC guys around. They do the crazy shit, landing, you know, Chinooks on the side of a mountain and dropping gate on the side of a mountain while they're still flying and letting guys off, and like just all the crazy stuff. So, you know, he is the best of the best.
The laser focused look, man.
Yeah.
He's still got that
Yeah. Imagine him in a combat environment, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Eric and Amy. Great to get to know you. I met with them and with a lot of their fellow warriors at Fort Bragg recently. You notice the name Fort Bragg, we have it back, we brought it back. We won the First World War with it, the Second World War with it, and then they decided to change the name. So we changed it back. Everybody wanted to change back too. And 10 of Eric's fellow warriors from that incredible night of victory will also be receiving medals at a private ceremony that will soon be held at the White House. And Eric will be there.
Yeah, I was kind of, I'm sorry, I was kind of surprised that they like announced that guy's name. And I know I get it, you don't want to give them the Medal of Honor, but normally, you know, you don't know those guys are who they are. So.
I wondered that too, and I was wondering if the injuries he sustained were career ending for being a pilot. And that's why they made that decision, you know, because, hey, I mean, we don't know, but yeah, that crossed my mind as well.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing on that, because yeah, again, these are not guys that, you know, you usually want their names. These are the guys who have their faces blurred out when you take pictures of them and that kind of stuff. So me and Alpha after daily today, we're going through and kind of unpacking the ribbons on that he had on, and the ribbons and medals and everything else. I saw this, Alpha. I thought you'd get a kick out of this, and it's a breakdown of all of his ribbons. So starting up here in the top left on his shoulder, the fact that he is in uniform and on duty means this is like a Bigfoot sighting. This arrow right here pointing to the Medal of Honor, did the most heroic shit ever. The patch on his right shoulder, hangs out with guys who do heroic shit all the time, but they don't want anyone to know who they are. Down here in the bottom on his forearm, been to dangerous places doing heroic shit for 5 years. Up here on his ribbon stack, the top little metal device there, did heroic shit that should have been a Medal of Honor, but the officer couldn't find the thesaurus that day. Then underneath that, did some more major heroic shit, did some more heroic shit, got wounded doing some heroic shit, did minor heroic shit, and been to a bunch of places doing heroic shit.
So, I wonder if he already had a Purple Heart before this.
Yeah, he did. He's got a Purple Heart right here on the top there. Yeah.
That's sick, man. We need people like him. We need more Americans like him.
I was telling Brian when we were looking at him earlier, I go, dude, what comic book hero does he remind you of? I was like, I see freaking, I look like Clark Kent, man. Like,
Yeah.
shit, dude.
Captain
You
America.
know? Yeah. Dude's poster boy, man. Poster boy military, and not just optically, his actions speak for himself, man. So,
Yeah,
but
I had gone with Colossus just because like his head doesn't look like it fits his shoulders. Like he's got these big ass broad shoulders and his head just kind of looked a little small. So I thought that's where you're going, but the Clark Kent is spot on. You know, the Superman thing that's spot on.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Chief Warrant Officer 5, Eric Slover, Medal of Honor recipient.
So Chief Warrant Officer 5, that's pretty rare to get that. I mean, it's and for people who don't know that to be a warrant, and this is common among Army pilots, and a lot of Marines do this when they get out. A lot of Army pilots are prior enlisted, and so they the Army lets warrant officers fly. So he was prior enlisted, and then became a pilot after that. I'm sure he didn't start out like that, but it's pretty badass. It's just another kudos to him. I mean, it's another impressive thing.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Good. A good friend of mine growing up, went into the Army when we were younger, long before I went into the Marines. And he was a Golden Knight for a while. He did the, like when the Army does like their parachute demonstrations and stuff, that's what he did, like the cool formations and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got do they call it commissioned as a warrant officer? I guess.
Yeah.
I think
So he got commissioned as a warrant officer, and now he flew I think he retired now, but he flew Blackhawks for a while in the Army. And that's pretty badass, man. That's the only way for you to really fly is unless you're an officer, is to go the warrant officer route and pick up your wings that way. It's pretty well. What do they call them in the rotors? Do they call them wings or rotors?
Yeah, you still got wings, I guess. Still wear wings. I don't know. They don't give you like, propellers. I got my golden propeller.
I got my rotors.
they would look like titties, bro.
They should give you the little hat with the spinny thing on top.
That's what we would call them, titties. Be like, he's got golden titties. You know what I mean? Like we would totally jack that one. I bet you if we could go back in time, somebody came up with it and they looked at it and they're like, no. We're not doing this. We're just gonna call them wings. Like
you don't even want what the O3s in the Marine Corps will call this. So let's just scratch that idea.
And so, how big is the crew on the MB-22? Is it just as far as like the pilots? Is it just the pilot and the co-pilot? Or do they have like?
Yeah, you got 2 pilots and then 2 crew chiefs normally. Or I've actually flown one time with 1 pilot and 1 crew chief, me. We flew a plane from Cherry Point to New River. That was crazy. That's the only time I know of 1 pilot and 1 crew chief on a plane. But yeah, normally you have to have a minimum of 1 crew chief. But if you're going to be doing anything with packs or doing any kind of like real mission, you're going to want 2 crew chiefs on the aircraft. Because another thing that you do as a crew chief is you're responsible for looking out around the aircraft and spotting. You actually get really good at you can tell the distance by tenths of a mile how far other aircraft are from you. And I mean you train yourself to get it spot on. You always ask I think they're 0.3, and you ask the pilot and they're like, yep, 0.3, because they can see on their thing. But you have to have visual contact, and the pilots can't see anything past their rotors really. So everything in the back is the responsibility of the crew chief, figuring out where everything is.
That's crazy. So you practice like depth perception at altitude like that? Like that's nuts.
Yeah.
I
they're 1 mile, 2 miles, and I got real. You get really good at it because you just do it a lot, I guess.
Is it? How do you do that? Do you identify the aircraft and then kind of have like a memory of how big that should be at certain distances?
Yeah, and it's usually like aircraft that you're flying with anyways, that are in your like formation or if you're flying like a big mission, or a mission, the aircraft will be very far apart. And so you have to kind of keep an eye on where they are. And but yeah, I mean the I guess the size of the aircraft would be really the best thing. You kind of, they're this big. I can see, the numbers on there. They must be like a mile away or something. But
Holy shit! You can see the numbers from a mile away.
I was just pulling something out of my ass.
Oh,
I mean, it's just yeah.
I was like, damn, I got pretty good vision, but not that good. Not that good. So Matt, what's like in your memory, what's the coolest thing being up there? What's the coolest thing you got to do?
The coolest thing I got to do was probably down in Africa. We went to Gabon for a few months and did some things down there. And we had to practice, we call it low altitude tactics, where we fly just 200 feet above the ground. And so we call them lat routes. So we had to go make our own routes over the Congo, basically. And it was just amazing because there's nothing out there. There's no at night, zero cultural lighting. It was the darkest I've ever seen. In fact, we went out on an overcast night, and then it was overcast, and then there's no cultural lighting. It was the darkest I've ever seen. We were trying to land the plane. The pilot, I kept telling the pilot to go down. The pilot like froze. He would not go down. It was weird. Like, it was just crazy. But flying through Africa, we were looking for elephants. That was like the goal. Was like, let's go spot some elephants
at night.
No, during the day.
Oh,
but I'm saying, like, this whole, flying out there in the Congo was just awesome, and just flying. I see a waterfall over there. Let's go check that out, and so okay, let's go check out the waterfall. It was just really neat. And you fly over these little tribes, you see tribes of people, and they're like freaking out probably, but
aliens.
Because I mean, out there you don't have to like contact anybody on the radio to let them know where you're flying and doing all that, because there's nobody flying. It's just nobody. So it was pretty neat. I mean, that was a cool experience. Except somebody changed out a filter on one of the gearboxes one time. We were going to the embassy from where we were staying, and it was over water. So it was like we were flying 30 minutes over water, and the crew chief in the front noticed that the pressure on the gearbox was kind of like fluctuating a little bit, and then it started dropping, and then he was like, okay, yeah, there's something wrong. So the pressure kept going down, and then we decided to turn around, and we made it. Like, as soon as the aircraft touched down, the gearbox just lost all pressure. What had happened is there was like a little O-ring that's supposed to go under the screws of the filter, and they didn't put those on, and so all the oil leaked out while we were flying over the water there. But that sucked. And then that same night, that's funny that I was flying at night, and I was in the back, and I was feeling this bump, and you can feel things a lot better in the back than you can in the front. And I started. I was like, "You guys feel that up there? It feels weird." And then it just kept getting worse and worse. And then they were like, "Yeah, I feel that." And then we got like it was a caution. It was like a rotor vibe high, and it's with that, it's to land as soon as possible, which means you have to find a place and land.
Holy
and we
shit.
all decided we're not doing that. We're over the middle of nowhere in the Congo. Like, we're just gonna take this bitch home. Like, there's no way we're gonna land it out here. So we did it. We rode it home, and it was a chunk of the rotor had one of the fairings on the front of the rotor had broken off. But it's just, we were just gonna
Oh shit, man.
Nah,
How long do you think you were up in the air once you realized the oh shit moment?
Oh, it was a good 45 minutes. Yeah, we were deep out there. We were way out there.
That's a long time to be stressing, man.
Were you praying the whole way back?
Yeah, pretty much. please. You get real religious real quick.
What do you guys have, like, this might sound stupid, but do you guys have like parachutes and stuff in case you have to ditch?
No, that's a good question, actually, because fixed wing if fixed wing aircraft crews do have parachutes. But no, we go down with our ship.
What? They treat you guys like grunts, man.
You guys are expendable. It's the fixed wing guys that we need to keep them around, but the rotor wing guys, you guys just go down with the ship. You guys go.
they treat them like us, man.
Do you guys practice like crash landings or anything?
No, we'll practice
Submerging,
like power off landing. So if we're like we go up to 99,000 feet and cut the power off, and it's like supposed to simulate a double engine failure, and then so they'll practice like death spiral down and kind of land it there. But the V-22 doesn't auto rotate like a helicopter normally does, so you're like a toaster, once the engines go off.
What do you mean it doesn't auto rotate?
So a helicopter, if a normal helicopter, if it loses power as it goes down, the wind going up through the rotors will cause it to spin, and then what will happen is the helicopter itself will slow down because it's gaining lift from the spinning of the rotor. But since the rotors on the V-22 are over the wing, there's no air coming up. There's not enough air, and the rotors are a lot shorter than on a normal helicopter. But normally a helicopter could just it's called auto rotate, and then they flare it at the end right when they're about to smack down. But no.
And you guys practice that?
We helicopters do. Helicopter they practice that.
Yeah, but what's the thing you said where you go up to 9,000 feet and then you cut it off and you?
Yeah, they cut it off and they basically you try to rotate the nacelles back right before you land, and it kind of slows you down a little bit. But I mean, honestly, I don't think it'll work out in real life. I think you'd be screwed.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
it's like a false sense of security when you're up there. You're like, don't worry, guys, we've trained for this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, okay, whatever. No, we're dead.
Yeah, right. All you're doing is giving me a false sense of hope. So the whole way down, I'm hopeful, and I die hoping, and then you die hoping.
One of those things like, well, we have to train the pilots to do this, and they have to have that knowledge just to
so
go.
I'm not a physics major, so don't laugh at me, all right? But as the crew chief or the guys in the back, right? If you're going down, have you ever contemplated, like, as you kind of get close to, like, 30 feet, 20 feet off the ground, that you jump off so you don't have that massive impact? Like, did you ever think about that? And if they did they shit on your story or what?
Yeah, I don't think it would work. I do know of a guy, old guy. He jumped out of a helicopter from 20 feet and broke both of his legs, but it was a story, an old wise tale.
Probably not true.
But, no, but I don't know, man. Your best bet is to strap yourself into a seat, because the seats do take the impact, so they're designed to kind of like collapse if the plane hits too hard. So the seats do take some of the impact. So your best bet is to kind of get in a seat, strap down, and hope that the plane just doesn't go in flames, which will happen probably.
That's crazy. So with the MV-22s, and I don't think I got around to this earlier, but when we were talking about you and me and the time that you were in versus me, and we were in it around the same time we got in, just before we got in, the MV-22 was having a bad time. Like, there were quite a few accidents, crashes with them that killed a lot of guys. And so, I can remember, like, the first time we flew on one, all of us were kind of whispering to each other. We're all like, shit, we're going on that fucking Osprey. And we've heard all the stories about the Ospreys going down. And here we are. Not only are we going to fly one in training up in I think it was Blacksburg, Virginia, but we're also going to be flying one in Afghanistan. That was, what took us out. We only flew one once in Afghanistan. Now, all the rest of the times it was the 53s or 47s that took us out. But we did actually do a couple ops on an Osprey, and yeah, again, the whole time, like, I never crossed my mind on the 53 or the 47, but in the 22, I was thinking to myself, 22 is my lucky number. Maybe this one will be good. We'll be all right. But one hell of a ride, man. That thing is a fucking beast.
Yeah. you know, the only time I've ever gotten like sick on the, or not, I didn't actually get sick, but we were coming out of a some kind of training we were doing, and you know, I had to pull the machine gun in, and we were practicing like getting out of the zone real quick, and just pulling the machine gun in and trying to like, it was a gal 19, so it was a 50 cal, and you know, trying to get that put in and get the ramp up and everything. I was so gassed after that, because like you're going against all those G's, you know, and it's like, and it really, it goes up to, you can go up to about 4 G's with the V22, so that's quite a bit.
Yeah.
You get, I mean, the pilots like to jerk it around, and they'll try to break the wings off sometimes, but
can you tell them not to do that?
Yeah. Well, usually, you know, I mean, if you got packs in the back, of course, they're going to try to, they actually do try to fly as easy as possible, because you don't want the troops to be, once you get the troops to the zone, you don't want them to be puking everywhere, because then, you know, they're not going to be able to go to their target.
Combat ineffective.
Yeah. So so they do consciously try to stay smooth when we have packs in the back, but you know, it can do some pretty crazy things, and I think that's where a lot of you know, my medical retirement is because I have 2 herniated discs in my neck, and a lot of crew chiefs, a lot of V-22 crew chiefs, it was a well-known thing as they were getting older, they were all getting herniated discs. And so, you know, if you see some of these older crew chiefs that have been doing it for years, they all have some kind of back problem. And I think they were going to do some aeromedical study about it, but you know, because when you're in the back, you're handling all those G's, but you're also moving around. You know, trying to, like, it's kind of crazy. While the plane's turning and pulling G's, you have to like get up from one window and try to go over to the other window while it's doing that, so you can catch the plane as it comes around, you know, because you know what maneuvers you're doing. But I think a lot of that maybe just kind of, just not good for your back and everything, and your neck.
Did you ever get to lay any lead while you were overseas? You ever get to?
Not onto anybody, no.
No, just training.
I did a lot. So what I did a lot in Africa, and out in West Africa, and then also, well, I did a float. Nothing exciting happened during that, but then I did the special MAGTAF, which is, you know, the new thing they're doing. I don't know if they're doing more, but they had one in Spain and one in the Middle East somewhere, and I think Jordan. But basically, they just sent a MAGTAF out there, a Marine Air Ground Task Force, and it was a response to Benghazi, and so we had quick reaction force in 2 spots over there in the world, basically to respond to anything that would happen like that. So that's what we did, and we would sit, wait a lot. I worked with some Green Berets. They would really, we worked for the CIA, honestly, I think, more than anything, because they would insert into like you know, some country we weren't supposed to be going into, and then we'd have to sit there and wait in case they got, you know, attacked, and then we'd have to go in and get them.
It's funny you say that, man, because you know, when we're in Iraq, this is when, you know, Garmin's became kind of affordable, and so we all had our own Garmin's. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you know, you get the, you know, guys give you the map downloads and shit that you need. And I remember we're doing a mission one time, and same thing, it was for the spooks, because they really do run shit out there.
Yeah, and they use the Marine Corps too.
Oh hell yeah, they do. We were on LAVs. And so since we're so fast, you know, we pick up prisoners and transport for them, you know. But I remember, you know, my buddy hits me with the Garmin. He's like, look. And so I pull out mine to double check his. And it's like, bro, this says we're in Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? And, you know, so, you know, you kind of go to the VC because you're not going to do it on the comms, right? So you go in there with that loud ass, you know, vehicle, and they're just like, like, stay down, and you guys stay down where the scouts belong. Like, you just stop asking questions and turn that shit off, right? And you go drop the guy off. You know, we form a security perimeter while they do their thing, and you're just like why do we have to go to side? It was just shit like that, man. And you just, at the time you don't think nothing of it. I mean, you're a baby, man. You're just a baby doing what you're what they, yeah, you're doing what you're told.
Yeah,
now you
like,
look back.
Why are these guys wearing civilian clothes and they're getting ready to go and do that?
That's the one thing where I gave the spooks a lot of credit is, we go into like, Baghdad or, Saddam City, and, we're going in there with 4 LEVs, there's 4 to a platoon, so we have superior firepower for most of the people there. And you're still stressed though. Ken, you're looking at every damn window's a threat. Every alleyway is a threat. Every freaking refrigerator that some lazy dude has dumped it. Like it's all like you're in this constant, condition.
Right.
And we'd see the spook dudes come in like team of 4 or 5 and like just one SUV, and they're, we'd meet them at the liquor store and they're buying the Red Bats. It's the Middle East version of like Red Bull. And you're just like, these, like, do they not understand like the shit that's out here? Like we have these, light armored, granted, but still, armored vehicles compared to a freaking Toyota, RAV4 or something, whatever it was that they were out there. And those dudes were just all older cats too, man. All beards that are white, like older dudes, man.
Yep.
You almost wonder if they knew. I mean, obviously they knew more than we did, but almost like they know, like today's not the day that we're going to catch contact. Like the people around us, they all know, like, don't fuck around with the dudes that have beards and civilian attire. Like, don't fuck around with those guys. You want to go after the guys in the camis, go for them when they're by themselves.
Well, that really is true. Because, I said it as a joke, but in all seriousness, we did have the green uniforms when we first deployed out there. Even the LEVs were still green.
Mm-hmm.
But the reputation, the Republican Guard that we're dealing with, they actually recognize, hey, don't get into firefights with the black boots. That's
right.
what they called us out there, the black boots, because they knew that those were the Marines. And so then that translated into they stopped attacking convoys that had, green vehicles with them, because they knew the Army convoys, especially like Route 1 and Sioux, they knew that was a Marine escort. And that's actually what led us into Operation Trojan Horse, where we ended up getting some 5 tons from the Army. We just stacked a bunch of Marines in the back, and you're getting like you're saying, you find all the leftover parts from shit that got blown up, and you got your our mechanic guys are like trying to weld shit. You're Mickey Mousing these things to have armor, and you side mount these guns, and then the plan was, as soon as we get contact, the convoy pushes through, and we drop the drapes and the fights on.
Yeah.
And it was successful because they stopped attacking, when we're in the green vehicles.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of the aviation part of that. There's a guy, his call sign was Tugboat. He's a short and stocky guy, but he was a Huey door gunner, or Huey crew chief, which is what I wanted. I wanted to be on the Huey, but they were basically bullet sponges. So they would, because a Huey would fly with a Cobra, and the Cobra's got the rockets and everything. So the Huey would go down over the town and just try to get people to shoot at them, and that's how they would locate the enemy. So they were basically bullet sponges. They would go and come on, shoot at us, and then once they started shooting, then the Cobra would come in and take them out. But man, that crazy shit, dude.
We loved it. Like when we got to some of these observation posts that we got to be at for a few days, and you had like a Huey crew there or a Black Hawk crew that was there, and they would tell us like, hey, a couple of your boys want to go for a spin, like we'll take them. You know what I mean? So of course we're like, hell yeah, man. And the lower those things are, like the faster that shit feels like you're going, man.
Yeah, it's called speed rush. Yeah, it's actually like a phenomenon, that especially when you're flying the low altitude thing, you can also kind of gauge what altitude you're at by how fast everything's going past you.
Oh, it was badass, man. Like we just, I mean, they're just right with the Euphrates or the Tigris, whichever one we were by. Like it was wild, man. It was.
So let me play this video. This is Matt has this posted to the top of his X right here.
That's the Gal 19.
That's badass, man.
That's dope.
I got all kinds of jealous going on right now, man. Shit,
You know why I'm most jealous?
Why's that?
Because his 50 cal worked. I swear to fucking God, even when I got my headspace and timing right on the 50, it still did not fucking work. Our 50 was from like 1965, man. Like, dude, our 60 was older than the oldest person in the Marine Corps at the time that I was deployed, and it fucking never worked, man. Piece of shit.
That sucks.
Hey, aren't the Ospreys like really loud on the inside?
Yeah,
all helicopters are.
No, but I think they're at normally loud, aren't they? It's because I remember that's what I kind of heard about them.
Kinda. It's funny. I was watching a movie and they were like inside an Osprey and they're just talking. I was like, you can't do that.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, it's loud, man. You can't talk to somebody and hear them if you're trying to talk to them. That's why you have to have the intercom system. Yeah.
Yeah,
Matt,
go ahead. I was talking to a buddy, and that's what we were saying. Like, if you don't have the comms helmet on, like, you can't hear nothing. Especially like for us when the turret was going, and my buddy brought that up. He's like, "You got to go inside an Osprey." It's like they might as well have you next to a lawnmower. Like he said that shit was like loud. I was like, damn.
Yeah, I've had to run out to an airplane before, and I call it painfully loud. It does hurt if you're like, right up in the cockpit area and the doors open and the things are spinning. It hurts. And that's one thing I always think about the dogs, because MARSOC brings their dogs, and they jump with their dogs, or they'll just fly with them, and just to get them used to flying. But they don't put any ear protection on them. They'll put the goggles on them, but they don't put any. And that I always wondered about that. Like, why don't you just put something around their ears? Because that's gotta hurt them. That's gotta hurt getting on that plane like that.
They'll shake them out. They will shake them out. You try to put plugs in there, and those. Yeah, they're gonna get those things all. I'm impressed that them damn dogs keep the goggles on, man.
Yeah,
but those dogs are top tier too, though.
Yeah, I know those dogs are very well trained.
Yeah, those are money.
Matt, did you deploy to Iraq or Afghanistan at all?
Nope. I came in kind of after that, at the tail end, and so what I said, basically what I did was the special max. I did a float, so I did a MEU. So I was on the ship, so I was like just outside of Afghanistan, but never went into Afghanistan. I think that was, I can't remember, something big happened during that float, but I cannot remember exactly what it was. But yeah, that sucked. I will never be on a Navy ship again. That was the worst experience of my life. I don't know if y'all ever had to go on the ship or not, but oh my God.
No.
If you were groundside, though, it was lovely. All you had to do was work out in the gym so that nobody else could use the equipment, and then play Xbox. And that was your life.
So as a grunt, it was good to be on a MEU?
Yep. You
fascinating.
just clogged up the gym and played Xbox. That's all he did. And then got in line for chow.
Dude, my two deployments, I went to Afghanistan twice. First deployment was a shit show, just fucking the wild west. The second one was a lot tamer. We still saw a lot of shit, but much like more calmed down. Mm-hmm. And then I got out. I had to have surgery on my shoulder, and the Marine Corps was reducing its size significantly, and they wouldn't keep me, even though I was a fucking 300 PFTer. Perfect. My SITREP
era. I know the era you're talking about. We lost a lot of good Marines during that era.
Yeah, they went from like 212,000 down to like 185,000 Marines, and they kicked everybody out like indiscriminately. Like and I'm sitting there, I'm recovering from my surgery, and I'm like, hey, I want to stay in. In fact, I want to go MARSOC, like, because you have to be an NCO, a non-commissioned officer, to go Special Forces in the Marine Corps. And so I finally got to a non-commissioned officer. I was between a 296 and a 300 PFTer. So top tier PFT scores, and I just had my surgery, and they're like, hey, you have to be able to do your 3 pull-up minimum. And I was like, okay, as soon as then my Navy lieutenant surgeon says it's okay for me to do it, I'll be fine, and they're like, no, you got to do it now. And I was like, well, fuck, I'm out. And so they literally kicked me out. But there was a point I was telling that story, I can't remember what the fuck it was.
You wanted to go MARSOC?
No, I got lost on it. It's
the numbers depleted in the Marine Corps.
No, I don't remember.
No.
There was a I think it was the biggest loss of life in a crash. There was a helicopter crash. It had to be like 2012, maybe 2013 in Afghanistan. And I think it was like 16 Marines that went down.
That was an Air Force one.
But it was Marines on board.
V-22s, I think.
This one was Marines on board because they were going to the base that we built in Afghanistan. Okay. It was one. So I was with 1-8. We ripped with 3rd Battalion, 2nd Marines, and then whoever it was that 3-2 ripped with, they're the ones that had the crash, and it was an RPG that took them down. And I think it was like, I want to say it was either 17 or 18 guys that went down in that bird.
Here's what it says. It says the worst V-22 Osprey crash in Afghanistan occurred April 9th, 2010, near Kalat in the Zabu province, killing 4 people and injuring 16. A U.S. Air Force CV-22 experienced engine compressor stalls while attempting a night landing in turbulent conditions, making it a first fatal crash of an Osprey in a combat zone.
It wasn't an Osprey. I was going to try and interrupt you there, but I'm pretty sure it was either a Chinook or a 53. But it reminded me, like when we were doing our replacement in progress, like, you know, that's when the new guys come in and they hang out with us for a couple weeks. We show them the ropes, and then we say, okay, it's yours.
Oof.
What happened?
Well, actually, if this is the one, says the deadliest helicopter crash in Afghanistan was August 6, 2011. Shoot down. This is the Extortion 17. The incident killed 38 people on board.
That was Extortion 17, but that wasn't the one I was talking about. But anyways, the point is, what I was saying is, so when we were getting our rip, the guys were coming in and I think they were on Ospreys, and we told them when we were, you know, relaying to them how to get to our fob, we told them, don't come in from the west. Like, if you come in from the west, it's the wild, wild west. And like, we have no eyes on, we have no protection from our fob. We have there's no overwatch to, you know, whatever. And sure enough, I don't know if the pilots were like, oh, we're going to be fucking John Wayne or what. They came in from the west, and dude, like, we just all of a sudden heard just RPGs, fucking machine gun fire, everything. And these birds just coming in like a bunch of fucking retards, man. I don't know how else to describe it, but we told them, you come in from this side, you'll be perfectly fine. And then, like, after the next rip, somebody did, I guess they did the same thing. They came in from that side and they ended up getting shot down. And I'll see if I can find it.
But just like the thing I mentioned before, you don't land the same pattern twice or go the same way twice.
The only one, like,
the speed is the biggest defense of the Osprey. And, you know, the speed is really its thing. It can come in, land and get out faster than anything, and then go farther.
The one that I found for you with 16 troops that died in Afghan says Pentagon released the names of 16 troops killed last week when an MH-47 Chinook helicopter crashed in eastern Afghanistan while ferrying personnel to a battle against militants. 7 victims were soldiers assigned to the Army's 3rd Battalion, 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment Airborne. And let me see if it tells me who the other ones are. But these look all Army. This doesn't look like Marines.
Here it is. I found it. On January 20th, 2012, a CH-53 crashed in the Musa Kela district of Helmand province, killing 6 Marines. The incident occurred during a night operation. There was no indication of enemy activity. The military reported that the helicopter was not hit by enemy fire. I heard different, but okay. Asserting, however, the Taliban spokesman Qari Youssef claimed responsibility, asserting that insurgents shot down the Chinook helicopter. This was it, because there were 2 crashes on the same day. The crash happened on the same day that 4 French troops were killed in an attack with by Afghans. So that's the one I was talking about. It was January 20th, 2012. So that was the second rip on 7171 in Musa Kela.
That's a buddy that was in 2 different 53 crashes, like classic.
Jesus. So I don't want to fly with that dude. I'm like, bro, you're jinxed. Like, I'm not flying.
Though. It was crazy. I can't believe. I mean, and you look at the helicopter, I can't believe they lived. But yeah, 53s. I mean, talk about getting hide fluid all over you. We used to make fun of the crew chiefs because they they just wear black. They're they're what you call it, flight suits. Even if it's a tan flight suit, it's black because they always got some hide fluid everywhere. But that's how they know that everything's serviced. If there's hide fluid or oil coming out, you know that it's good. It's got some in there.
Wait, that means it's good? Oh, it's got some in there.
It's full. Okay, we're good.
Oh, it's full. But how long is it going to leak for before it's not full?
They time it. I'm sure they'll all figure it out.
Oh,
what's the old saying with helicopters? Is like they spend most of their time trying to kill their pilots, something along those lines.
Yeah.
That's nuts, man. All right, we are gonna start to wrap up here. Unfortunately, the Rumble side never came through, so we'll have to get this
uploaded.
Clipped and uploaded so that we can get this show out there. Matt, what are you up to now since you left the Marine Corps?
Just doing different things. My profession would be project management, I guess. I got my PMP, my project management professional, but really my passion would be this sort of thing. That's what I wanted. I want to get my my voice out there basically, and see if I can make this work. Maybe I can make $3 on YouTube one day too. That would be great. So, but yeah, I mean, I just think I think the people at church is what really kind of started it for me, because I go to church with a lot of elderly people, and they like it. They like my channel. I haven't posted in a while. I need to get back on doing it. But anybody who's watching this, if you really want to see me get back on the YouTube, go to my YouTube channel, Based and Biased, and subscribe there for me. But and then check out some of the videos and let me know what you think. But yeah, I think I'm gonna try to give this a shot. I like going on X and arguing with people all day. It's just I'm good at it. I guess I'm good at trolling. So
you and Alpha will be best friends, man.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah.
Alpha's a shit stirrer.
So I got a message. I guess the last 42 minutes has been live on Rumble. So Do sent in a Rumble rant. So I'll read it. $20 from Do. And he says, "Thanks for the great show, guys. Sorry, I'm too exhausted from work. Can't think of anything clever to say, but Alpha's wrong. Brian's even more wrong. And your guest is awesome."
Oh,
hey, well, that's great. Don't need to say anything else.
We did get live over there. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. And that's pretty badass. We got almost 1,000 people watching for a show that was a shit show.
Clusterfuck, baby. It was a
clusterfuck, man. Improvise and adapt, overcome. You got 3 Marines here, so we got this shit, man. Matt, where can people follow you on the socials?
Well, I'm just on X and YouTube right now. And my Rumble. I'm not really sure my Rumble channel. You can look for Based and Biased. And I know my videos have uploaded to Rumble, but I don't really get on Rumble. I need to do that though. I need to really start using that more. But YouTube and X, Based and Biased. That's where you can find me.
All right.
Say hi when you come subscribe or follow.
There you go. Consistency is key, brother. You gotta keep going nonstop. I'm sure keep in touch with Alpha and I will both get you on our show on our personal channels as well. And we'll get you back on here and see if we can do it right this time. So, because normally on this show, we usually get about anywhere from like 2,000 to 3,000 people watching. And just with the hiccup in the beginning, it's just hard to, make up the ground. And, it is what it is. Berkey, last minute rant, says, "I got buzz and y'all just confused me. I was wondering if I was watching what I thought I was watching. I got a buzz."
And well, I'm glad that, we were able to do that for you.
There you go. All right, Matt. Well, thank you again so much for joining us, brother. Appreciate you coming on.
Hey, I want to thank you guys. I appreciate the opportunity. Alpha invited me the other night, just because I think I dunked on Massey some or something, but
yeah.
We kick Alpha off for that shit.
Oh, fucking hater.
But anyway,
you're the hater, not me. You're the hater, bro. All right, Matt. Thanks again, brother. Appreciate you coming on. Semper Fi, man.
Semper Fi, kill.
All right, guys, and there it is. Give them a follow, Based and Biased on YouTube as well as X. Give them a follow. show him some love. He's trying to get his thing going, and I think he'll put out some good stuff. We'll get him on our channels as well, man.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have some fun conversations in the future with him, man. I dig that. That was good.
I do too. It's unfortunate, you know, the hiccup in the beginning kind of screwed everything up. So it is what it is.
John's fault. Just if you guys are all wondering, it was John's fault.
I do blame John. John was in the backstage here for a little bit trying to figure things out. So, you know, hat tip to him. Jessica tried to figure things out and don't know what happened, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. In the meantime, Alpha, brother, as always, it's been great.
As always. Semper Fi, bro.
All right, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow morning. Friday. Tomorrow's Friday, right? Yes. See you tomorrow morning on Badlands Daily with Chris Paul. And then Why We Vote, we've got Harry McDougal, as of right now, is going to be joining us on Why We Vote tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So be sure to tune into that one. We got some updates on Fulton County that we're going to talk about. And we'll see you guys later.
Peace.
Thank you so much for joining us, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up on this video. And a special thank you to all of our advertising partners. Please remember to shift your dollars to support those businesses that support Badlands Media.